Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Lurkin from Mobalytics, and Charge Bolts is back from the dead after being buried 6 feet under for about a year. And it's a very simple build. Got the unique staff Lamessen. If you can get GA on Charge Bolts, it's an insane amount of damage that you can get. I have 30 ranks right now. You cast 5 bolts, each does 176% of the skill percentage. We're taking Asus boots for the crit chance. It's 40%, super nice. I take Mage Lord pants and warmth just to be super tanky. I was feeling it a little bit when I had Tabalts on. Felt like I was getting nuked. We have shredding blades on here. Ranks to core, crit strike chance, attack speed, or crit strike damage. It's not too big of a deal. I did have Splintering on here for a little while, but we're just a little bit of tight on aspect slots. And I think because we can get so many ranks of charge bolts, I really just wanted to spec fully into the charge bolt damage. And I didn't think, with the lack of slots here, I didn't think Splintering was going to cut it. And it didn't really. So next is Tyrael's Might. If you don't have one of these, you can honestly just replace it with a Soul Brand, a 30% Soul Brand with, like a good damage DR while healthy roll. But this thing's obviously amazing, and Soul Brand's going to be good DR, but it's not going to compare. Shaco, you can just replace this with like a Concentration Helmet, Ever Living, or something like that. Or if you have really good uptime on your Ice Armor, because you got good cooldown rolls, you could use Snow Veiled. But you're going to lose some damage, but it's not that the biggest of deal if you lose it. For our Amulet, it's looking definitely like Conj Mastery. My ideal Amulet would probably be Conj Mastery, Dev Blaze, and then I have to look at my stats. Like, whether I need the attack speed, the crit chance, or the cooldown. You can really pick either one. It's going to help in all different facets of the build. We take Stormswell on here because Stormswell is double dipping, baby. So we're getting 1.45x times itself twice. So that's super nice. Last is Starless. This build actually, because of the resource cost reduction, it actually costs 4 mana to cast. So the resource cost reduction here really isn't doing anything, but I don't think a ring can really beat this because we're not poised to get poison or shadow damage for Rasha, and I think that would just be a throw anyway because you're just losing so much attack speed and crit chance and ranks to core. It's really not gonna beat it out. So I still think this thing is like best in slot. But you could always take a Shredding Blades ring, with all the fixins, crit, attack speed, int, that sort of thing. But this thing's just juiced to the gills. Next is Piercing Static. This is actually really important on charge bolts, and it's kind of shit on single target because it's just one guy and it's going through him. It's not really doing anything. But on these council dudes, there's like 3 of them. You can kind of line yourself up, and the charge bolts go through, and they'll hit everybody. So you actually are getting like a lot of damage out of this. I was pretty surprised. So I had prepared like a swap ring. I had like a Conceited or like a Shredding Blades ring. I have Shredding Blades here. Anyway, yeah, so it would be Conceited here if you wanted to swap. But I was going to swap this aspect for Conceited so I could get more damage. But I'm realizing now I'm just gonna leave it. Keep it simple, stupid. So then crit chance, attack speed, crit strike damage are in. And then I do like I think you do really need the Unstable Current cooldown reduction tempers here. Because we don't have the best cooldown, and we're trying to keep this bad boy up. But we're at 28 seconds, and the enchantments, no swaps, just Firebolt and Ice Blade enchantment. And Ice Blade's really helping with the cooldowns, added some Conj Mastery stacks, and Firebolt doing its Firebolt thing for Flame Feeder and Dev Blaze. So that's it. Let's see. The first run I did with Splintering, the bosses took me 5.5 minutes. So we've done some adjustments, and we are straight CB. So we're hoping that the boss kill is going to be... I'm looking for sub 3. That's what I'm hoping for. I got really lucky with this build. It was super... This is another one of those builds, like, how Fireball is really easy to gear. I think this is also pretty easy to gear. Because honestly, who's buying Charge Bolt gloves? So those are going to be super cheap if you want to find them. And any build that runs a unique staff, like people are going to post that. You can probably scoop up a 2GA for super cheap because nobody wants this thing. Yeah, any build with a unique staff is just like sort of free to gear because that unique staff takes up 2 of the slots. Then if you get the Ubers, you just shove those in the other slots. You know, so it's another one of those easy to gear, and like as I said, the replacements. The Ubers aren't necessary for this build to function. They're just super nice. If I didn't have them, I'd probably be doing T7s, and I think that's just a-okay because you still get Neath Iron. But I was really surprised with how this thing performed, just jumping straight into T8s. Although my gear is all like 12 out of 12 and stuff. But this ain't no pure splintering, as I've said every damn video, but for charge bolts, this thing's hosing. Alright, let's get our little timer up, and let's go see what we got for this guy. Oh cool, we don't have flame, so that's good. Let's figure out who I need to stand next to. Well, actually, I don't need to do that as much. But as you can see, because of piercing static and Lamessin, the charge bolts are piercing them, and then they're going to hit everybody else, so we are getting a bunch of extra like AoE damage. So this triple boss setup is actually pretty favorable for this. Whereas typically when it's just like a single chunky boss, charge bolts doesn't really perform the best. But here you can sort of, it's almost like Frozen Orb, where you're casting and it's like slowly chipping away at the guys that you aren't really aiming at. And like Maelstrom's lost less health than the rest of them, but he's still getting hit a little bit. So now what I'll probably do is I'll shift over to him because he's got higher health. That way I can focus on him, and then the others can get chipped down as well. That way I'm not left with like one boss at half health, and then all this extra AoE clear that's shitting out isn't just wasted. So you just kind of jump from boss to boss, try and keep him about even health. That way the last guy, he kind of does like this little baby enraged thing when he's the last one. He's pissed you killed all his brothers. So he kind of gets a little feisty, and shit starts hitting the fan in the arena. We're at a minute 30, a little better than before, I think. You know, I think it's not going to be the most beautiful time or clear, but I think all things considered, with where this skill's been in the past, it's probably obviously the best it's ever been. And we're going to take it. And don't be sleeping on warmth. Warmth is very good. Especially this, because cooldowns are, in this build, your cooldowns are so reliant on the ice blades. I really need to get on the other side of him. Uh-oh. No, yeah, right there. See, no barrier. Getting a little dicey. Alright, this one's... These guys are kind of annoying. I may have to just kill some of them so they can leave me alone. We're at 2.5 minutes. They're at about half. So I don't. It's not looking like I improved the boss kill too much, and might just be one of those cases of it is what it is, fam. But if you're a diehard charge bolts enjoyer, this is it. The only other thing that you could possibly look into that I tried but I didn't like is Andariel's CB. It's something you can look into. I don't think I'm going to experiment too much with it. I got a lot of builds to do, and I kind of like this one as a pure. I know Charge Bolts has a really good lucky hit. Maybe you can get some like GA lucky hit, Fist of Fate. See what you can kind of do with that if you can proc it. But with Ver's wanting crit and me really being obsessed with Ver's mastery, I don't know. I guarantee though there will be some Andariel CB build that will like just smoke this because it has so much better single target. But until that's discovered, this is what I'm repping. I don't want to build it and test it, so I'm not doing it. All right, let's kill this guy. Option to look into also doing is I know I talked a big game about these charge bolts piercing. But you could also try having like a swap ring with some more traditional damage, like conceded, something like that, and just seeing like how it works, or just one run swap off piercing static at the boss or something. Just kind of see what's going on, and I need to not die here. We're at 430, so I didn't really improve the boss kill by that much. These guys are also just terrible. Holy shit, what is going on, dude? Whoa, this one's a mess. Is this what happens when you don't get flame? You just get these crazy mechanics because they're assholes? Fucking tornadoes? So, yeah, we will put that on cons of the build is boss damage single target issues. That's very apparent. I think for these reasons, this thing will be staying in probably B tier. I like to, you know, S tier right now is reserved for the pure splintering builds. I can get a ton of conjurations out. This one just can't match the scaling. I have to figure out a way to get way more conjurations, but it's just not happening. I like A tier to be reserved for builds that sort of clear the T8 in 3 minutes and under. Stuff like that, you know, looking more like a minute and a half once min-maxed and stuff. Ah, Jesus. Alright, 540. So the time didn't change at all, but those guys were brutal. That's all I gotta say about them. Oh, let's see if I finally got a good sword. 170. Okay. Alright, so let's go over the skill tree. I think the skill tree is pretty set in stone. So one thing I should have done that I didn't, which I'll go over, but you know, 2 points in Firebolt to progress. Grab your Elemental Dominance. Just get a drink of water. Alright, 3 points in Elemental Dominance. You know, increase damage. And one thing I should have done actually is I like greater charge bolts during that mobbing section, but when I came up here, I forgot because I was talking to swap just the easy swap over to destructive charge bolts because you're really not gonna have good uptime on greater. So I'm definitely all for swapping to destructive for the bosses. And if you really are getting nuked out there, you can just run it all the time. Just the bare minimum teleport. We're looking for shimmering. We really just want that 30% DR. Quick little panic. Teleport saves your life. Take the glass cannon. We take three. I actually take a few points in ice armor. I think I have 3. Main reason is I just really want a fat like ice armor barrier because I don't want this thing to get knocked off me. And then you might actually not even need either of these 2 nodes. This one gives mana regen that we don't need, and then this one it chills them. But if you have like a lucky hit freeze temper on your gloves, this can come in handy because you will get some extra damage. So yeah, we'll keep it. Alright, we go for the Summoned Ice Blades. You know, we got our Choppy Choppy. Gives us our nice cooldown reduction. We take Invoked Lightning Spear. This is something you could experiment with not taking, that we just don't make everybody unstoppable, but we still kind of want it for greater charge bolts. The 3 and 3 here, you know, these are just your DR passives, your Mana Shield. This is your Mana Shield, you know, 30% DR, and then this is protection for your barriers. We got the 3 points of Dead Blaze, 21% damage. I only needed I have 1 point in Static Discharge. That's for just making Crackling for the Charge Glyph. And honestly, there's so many charge bolts going off. It's got good enough lucky hit. You really only just need 1. I do pop down here, and I do grab these warmth tempters. It's a lot of healing. And I have it on my, you know, I have warmth on my pants, so that really helps. This warmth's OP right now. We got Prime Unstable Currents, 25% attack speed. Grab the Electrocution as usual for some DR. And then last but not least, my favorite, Ver's Mastery. 25% DR and 25% damage on single target if you have 100% crit chance. This Paragon is not final. I don't exactly know what Paragon I have in the planner, but it will probably be it might actually be this one. Yeah, this looks about right because we don't need Static Surge. All right, so we're gonna start off with I grab Reinforce because I really want that DR. I'm just all about it this season. Super nice. There's no time limit in these, so get as much Aether as you can and then go kill the bosses. Bring a rogue with you. They'll help. Grab this non-fizz over here and we're taking Elementalist. It's going to give us 15% damage. On enemies, grab this Elite DR because it's very nice. I opt for Tactician on here. Bumps up our burning damage a little bit, and really I'm after this DR from burning. Just all about DR right now on these boards while still keeping it damage. We take Enchanter. That way we can max out our Frigid Fate because I have not been keen on Tel Rasha this season, so we're doing a lot of enchantering. We move down here, grab this Vuln DR. Never hurts. It's nice little 12% Vuln DR on the way out. We take Flame Feeder here, bare minimum, just after the 10% damage to burning enemies. We zoop on over here. I did max out Destruction. You could probably take a couple points out. I had it maxed because I was using Splintering, so you could always take 2 points out and just like grab some more Vuln DR, something like that. Or if you can, I don't really think you can find any more max life nodes, but yeah, so we take the Destruction here, 12% damage to everybody, bunch of crit damage. We take Exploit, just the 10%. Just after that, just a quick path through. That's Sork boards, 8 glyphs. Path through real quick, get your nodes, get the hell out of there. And then last but not least, this one's up for really whatever you want here. I probably shouldn't have had Conjurer. So you can either put, you don't really need Unleash here. So actually the options are between, where is it, Charged? I probably should have had this one on. You can get 15% damage. That's the one I'd actually be running in this setup. Let's just put that back in there. But I was running Conjurer because originally I was trying it with the Splintering, which is all the lightning spears, and I wanted them to last longer and then keep my Conj Max 3 stacks up higher for longer. But I don't know if it's worth it because we're really not making that many conjurations, and you need to make quite a bunch for this to sort of outweigh a 15% multi. So yeah, we'd put Charged here just after that 15%. That's a lot of damage. Probably would have lowered my boss kill time from about 540, maybe 515 or so. But all right, that's the Charge Bolt build. 500, we're gonna get a bunch of Neath Iron here. It's gonna be a good time, and then we'll go use it to make an Archard build. Peace.